Ooh, hey! Hi, I'm Seth. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Easy morning this morning. So the last lesson we went over was mind. Very interesting. And so we're going to go over body today. With mind, we basically determined that there's 3 parts of the mind, and that the more mastery you have over it, the more mastery you have over yourself, and like your actions and your associations, etc. Body, again, I'll write a bunch of stuff, and then I'll just kind of read it and re-explain it, because it just works the best for me, flows the best. Alright, so, the body is a complex grouping of systems and organs that work together to allow you to move, feel, see, listen, hear, and sense. There are 11 main systems that govern the body. And then I'm about to just go right into how they work. I wrote them all down, but it just doesn't make sense to actually see them. Alright, damn it. My pronunciation. Honestly, guys, I think I, for a long time, had dyslexia and couldn't spell anything or read words correctly. And that, like, when I'm sounding out words, it really affects that. It's really weird. I don't know. I'm good, but you know. Alright, so Integumentary. Basically, that's hair, skin, nails. It's the biggest organ on the body. It regulates protection from pathogens on the outside world. That makes sense? Of course. There's the skeletal, which is your bone and joints, your teeth, your bodily shape, the structure or support surrounding your body, essentially. There's the muscular, which have 3 different types of muscles: skeletal, smooth, and cardiac. There's voluntary, involuntary. Oh, no. So there's 3 different types of muscles: skeletal, smooth, and cardiac. Okay, voluntary, and then there's involuntary and voluntary muscles. Sorry, this is all from like when I was a personal trainer, and so I have this information in my head, but there's so much of it that like I probably got a lot of this out of like my personal training book, or like just, you know, doing a continued study over time. So then we got nervous system, brain, spinal cord, voluntary and involuntary actions. Responses also detects and processes info. You got the endocrine system, which secretes hormones throughout the body, and metabolism, responsible for metabolism, growth, sexual drive, all the glands like that. Cardiovascular system, heart, blood, vessels, arteries, veins, capillaries. You got the urinary system, kidneys, blood pressure regulation, waste removal, balance of calcium plus phosphorus, very important balance. Alright, so those are the, was that 11? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's also digestive, male and female reproductive organs, which are right here. Actually, right here. Respiratory, there's nasal passage and lungs to trachea. There's the lymphatic system, which is the immune system, tissue, lymph nodes, which basically get rid of pathogens. Digestive system, you know, your mouth, your esophagus, you know, the things that basically your small, large intestines, all that stuff. Sorry, sometimes I can't even read the head. Alright, male and female reproductive organs. There's testosterone, estrogen, of course. There's the testicles, the urinary tract, the testicles, the ovaries, and things that basically produce another human. Simple. Alright, so an optimal body is a complex concept because each of us have different types of bodies, and we all have so many complex systems working together that saying what's optimal for one person might not be optimal for another, which is very interesting. And you can see that in things like blood pressure, right? Like the collective blood pressure rate, whatever it is, maybe it's 100 or something, or I don't actually know what it is, but I know that the blood pressure rate is actually different across each person. Like everybody's optimal blood pressure is different. They just have the average. And it's the European average, and Europeans are like 10% of the world. So it's interesting that they use that as a standard, as opposed to kind of like, you know, just finding out the person's optimal blood pressure rate and then kind of going from there. So digestive circulation And endocrine are some of the most important systems in your body. And they're very important to understand how to get control and mastery over. Because there's this thing called the ANS, and basically it allows you to do stuff with your body. And like, the more you pay attention to your bodily functions, the more you'll actually be able to, let's say, help yourself digest more, or produce more enzymes, or let's say produce antibodies, and stuff like that, essentially. So again, like for cultivation of this all, that was optimal versus not. I mean, the non-optimal body, like, I'm going to talk about a non-optimal body. We know what non-optimal bodies look like. Like, nobody wants to have a non-optimal body, essentially. So cultivation for this, the most important part of this, I would say, is developing the ability to measure and kind of see inside what's going on in your body. So people call it, what is it called? Introspection. Introception. I think it's introception, but it's basically the ability to see the functions, your bodily functions, your brains, like when neurons are firing, when your blood's clearing, when you're let's say you're peeing or you're eating, digesting. It's the ability to see more in depth within your body so that you can kind of understand more of what's going on. And the closer you get, and I think everybody has the skill, we need to master it, hone it, figure out what it means and what it means for each one of us. And I think that the body is one of the things that once you start getting control over it, you start seeing the connections between more things. Because the mind and the body are extremely connected. The mind, the body, and the spirit are extremely connected. But just specifically, the mind and the body are so connected. Like triggers and things that will trigger you to do something that you might not even have thought about doing, that comes just through seeing or hearing or feeling. And then your body reacting as a result. Anyway, so for continuous mastery, just re-listen to that last part. It's the same concept. Yeah, I think that's the concept here. I appreciate you guys for coming, watching, listening, and I'll see you next time. Please like, comment, share. We'll talk soon. Blessings.